So what we're going to do in this video is just look at the interface of Illustrator. If you've never been in Illustrator before, it looks somewhat similar to any of the other Adobe software, but there's a couple things about Illustrator just to kind of know about, and we'll briefly go over just some of the real basic tools within the interface. So we're going to do a new document. Now, we'll have a whole new video about what all this means, but I'm just going to do OK, just so we can kind of get into the main layout of Illustrator. So when you look at Illustrator, you have your tool sets over here. You have your palettes or your panels. They're used interchangeably. And you can see as you click on them, they kind of pop out. Now, I have mine kind of minimized over to the side. If you drag from the side, you can see what they actually are. To just maintain a little bit more screen real estate, I generally have them over, but I'll move them out for the video. And I'll move them out over here. So you can have a couple docks on either side. You can dock them to either side, and you can have, I like this free floating. Some people, dock it over here, which is completely fine. All this kind of preferences are up to you as far as the interface. Okay. So the main thing to understand about Illustrator is this part right here. The white box that's here is your main area. It's the area which you are going to be doing all your artwork. It's the area that if you go ahead and print this, this will print. If I move this box over here in the gray area, this gray area will not print, right? So it's a way that you can have kind of things off an artboard. Like think about a desk, think about a piece of paper you're drawing on, and everything else is around that desk. Right? We're not actually going to see that when you hand me this piece of paper, this drawing, but that was all the preparation. So I may have some things out here that I'm pulling from to move in and stuff like that. So that's really kind of where that is going with the interface, which is kind of a nice thing to do. So there's some basic things here. We'll go over what the difference between these tools are, but the basic shape tools, which we'll get into, are right here. And anytime you have something that has an arrow on it, right? See the arrow down in the lower right-hand corner? That means there are more tools kind of grouped within this one. So it says rectangle tool, but if I hold down, you can see I get all these different tools. And the one great thing about Illustrator is if I hit this over here, you can see it kind of changes in highlights. It's called a tear off. And so now I have these kind of in their own palette. And I could tear off as many of these as I want if I'm working on something that I kind of need those handy, and I don't want to have to scroll down into them if I don't want to. And then you just kind of close those when you are done. We'll get into layers and what artboards are. We'll get into really all this stuff. I just wanted to give you kind of a quick overview. What's nice about this is you could save this, right? So if you say Workspace, new Workspace, it'll save this workspace for what you want. So let's just do Workspace, call it mine. Right? So now if I go see Workspace, so let's say I'm working on painting, right? All of a sudden it gives me all the different interfaces that it thinks I would need for painting. But if I go back and go to mine, you can see it goes back to the way that I had my document, which is pretty cool. So this is just kind of a brief overview of just the way that things are organized inside of Illustrator.